Welcome back to JaCornsCorner Volume 3, the final episode for realsies this time.
For realsies until next year when they come out with the third installment of it.
Well, that'll be in Volume 4.
If there's a Volume 4.
I mean, there might be. There's plenty of stupid horror movies we can watch.
Yeah, I still want to do... Scary Godmother.
There's only 2 of those.
Is there... There's 2 of them?
Yeah, there's at least 2 of them.
Have you ever watched the second one?
I've seen the second one. It's not good.
Well,
it's a revenge tale.
Of who?
Of Jimmy.
The...
Devil Kid.
Well...
I mean,
I'm blown away here. I don't know what else to say.
Did I remember this? Just awful.
My favorite part is that you were like, I don't know how we're going to get 8 minutes. I think it was bullshit. And I didn't mean it bullshit. But then you're like, well, this is for realsies.
You know it's Canadian?
Yeah, I can believe it. Most Nickelodeon shows are Canadian.
This was on not Adult Swim. This was on Cartoon Network.
Oh, it was on Oh! Damn. Yes, they're there.
Well, I'm looking at... I was hoping that they would say something about the sequel. Yeah, The Revenge of Jimmy.
Well, I know what we're doing next year, guys.
That's just the 2 of them.
We're going to watch part 4, and then we're going to watch... Or part 3.
Yeah, the third in
the third
this
of this
epic
movie.
cinematic...
Did I say the 4th one?
Yeah, you said part 4.
You didn't correct me?
You immediately corrected yourself.
God, if you wrote a comment, you should... Did I? I don't remember. It's only been like, what? We're at minute 40? I don't remember.
This is the first time you said the 4th part. Mate,
Well, I guess we'll have to rewatch the tapes when we get back here. All right, let's start this.
Okay, so
well, actually, okay. Sorry. Before you... For some fucking reason... So... You guys all know we recorded this in a week, so it was just because it's the same days, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All week I was excited for this movie. I don't know why. I was just like, oh boy, I get to watch the movie with Jacob. So I don't know if I was more excited for the movie or if I was watching it with you. So with that being said...
I thought you were going to be like, oh, I was really excited to see that Claude was in this movie.
Yeah, so, okay, so I was looking at my actors, because some of these actors, I was like, of last week, I was like, okay, some of these actors are like, they look older than what their character is. And find out they're like in their 20s.
Except for Dracula, who's supposed to be 1600, and she's probably only like 22.
Yeah.
Definitely playing an older character there.
But Claude, he's in here somewhere, and they got him cast, but they haven't shown him yet. And as we all know, from the continuity of these 3 generations of Monster High movies, that Claude is related to Claudine.
He's a very important character, except when he's not.
Right, now, at 3 minutes in, we can start the...
Alright, so this picks up a year later after the racism has been solved. Monsters are no longer, monsters don't really hate humans as much. They still hate witches, though, but that's unrelated. But the,
No. The monsters don't hate the witches. The vampires still hate the witches.
Yeah, close enough, whatever.
There's only one monster that hates the witches. And we'll get to that.
Yeah, okay. So, they come back to Hogwarts for their 2nd year of high school. And, a bunch of...
Sorry, I just caught that.
A bunch of half-monster, half-humans are like, yeah, we're so excited to be here. You changed our lives. Thank you, Wolf Lady.
So I had this realization. Now, I get it. They're all real people playing these. But even in the cartoons, they all look like... Majority of them, half of them look like humans.
I'm sure half of them were humans.
So it's like, it's kind of funny that... I didn't think about the yesterday, but today it's like, wait a minute, aren't we all like just because they point out like, oh, I'm a ghost and a human. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how that one works. Like, I understand the werewolf thing. I can understand like a half vampire, half human. The ghost one, that one seems a little off. That's like a skeleton being like, no, I'm not human. I'm just a humanoid skeleton. I swear.
That's a good point to put. Speaking of that, there's this one meme. You should look it up. Not you. I think I already showed you. But there's like a human walking, and 2 skeletons were like, oh no, he's trapped. So they went and cut the human down, and then the skeleton came out. He's like, thanks guys, you saved me. So I just thought that was funny.
Okay, so anyway, all the half-breeds are now excited to come to Hogwarts, and unfortunately, this year coincides with the year where the werecat, who's not human, by the way, not half-human, so not a werecat, just a cat lady. She comes back from spooky France. I don't remember.
I don't know.
It was like Scarus something, but it was a play on France. And she's like, yeah, I got attacked by witches there. They're bad people. Check out my arm scar thing. Anyway, I'm running for student council president. And that's like the whole crux of the movie is that.
Yeah, so if you didn't watch Wednesday's episode, I think we were trying to figure out how we played the game, and then in the game, the werecat girl is the student president.
Yeah, and everybody seems to like her.
But then in the straight to DVD movies, she's like she hates Monster High. So we're like trying to figure out how.
Yeah, she was really cozying up to them gargoyles. She cheated on their behalf, or she wanted them to cheat on her. I don't know. She also wanted to go to the birthday party, but Dracula didn't like her, so I guess she didn't get invited. So she's like, "Well, I'm gonna call up this other." That's explaining a different movie. But
I don't even remember that movie.
that was the Wednesday movie. That was the one where Dracula gets mind controlled by another Dracula.
Keep that in mind. Bring that up later.
So, Claudine is running for. So it's basically the thing from Goblet of Fire, where there's this magical artifact that picks who's going to compete, and it picks Werecat and Claudine.
Yeah, dog versus cat.
Yeah, and they have to instill leadership or something into the student body. Also, the school itself is holding the election. Like, I don't mean like the staff, I mean the school. The building. It's dropping Tic Tacs into these giant skulls, and that's how they tally the votes. And, something about witchcraft happens. Like, Dracula goes outside to do a thing, and
She meets this other vampire.
she meets another Dracula, and he's like, I'm also a witch. Here, let me make a automaton of the werecat, and we can make her dance. And then they have this weird musical number where they dance with her in the background, and then she gets turned into a clone of him, and Dracula makes a clone of herself. And
Clock strikes midnight, and then vampire girl has to run back to her room.
Yeah, Dracula runs back to her room, and unfortunately, there are more witches
Who want to abduct her?
who want to just kidnap her. And Claudine shouts at them, and they're like, "Ah, shit, a wolf!" And they run away.
Well, and then Frankie, she's got new abilities over the year, and she can do like the shock system, whatever. So she ends up taking all electricity out.
Yeah, her bed is, for some reason, close enough proximity to the electrical grid. And she short circuits the whole school.
So then we have this fight between Claudine and the werecat girl. And werecat girl's like, hey, racism. We want racism again.
Witches are scary.
And then Claudine's like, no, you can't fear what you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know if you don't know. And that's like all she says in the song.
Yeah, it's probably the song wasn't bad, but it really wasn't a substance to it.
But anyway, so Dracula decide. Well, the following day, the new vampire witch guy's like, "Don't freak out."
Oh, I forgot to say. So the headmistress that can lose her head, she bans all witchcraft.
Oh yeah. She's like, look, if they're using witchcraft to track us, we can't be having that. So none of that.
Now she did. The lady said, hey, just for right now, just till we get this all figured out, we're not banning it, but we can't
just don't do it. That means
right.
You, the only witch here. And Dracula's like, no, this is discrimination. I can't believe it. I can't be siding with you if you're going to be going against my hobbies or something. And so she storms out, and the other witch vampire is like, look, don't be shocked, but I'm a human. I'm also a witch. My mom, she wants peace, so come with me. And Dracula's like, yeah, no, that checks. I want peace. She wants peace. That nothing suspicious. So she pieces out to I don't remember what the place was called. It was an anagram that turned into Salem Coven. It's like Coleman Green or some nonsense.
It's like Cottage Grove, or not Cottage Grove, Grove Street.
Yeah, well, that's where it was on. It was a business. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The important thing is it was a coven, and they were all witches, and they're like, yeah, no, we make health drinks now, so we profit off the people who used to kill us.
And that's how you get people.
But we're the good guys, I swear. Here's this dandelion drink.
Americans hate Chinese people, but all our shit gets made in Chinese or in China. So I mean, who's really winning? Just think about it.
So
that's the message of this movie.
I don't think Mattel would make that message. I'm sure most of their stuff is made in China. They wouldn't want you seeing that.
They did have their Barbie moment.
So
I'm just fucking, but it is true.
Is Barbie Mattel?
Yeah. Dude, you asked that last fucking week too. We figured this out.
I thought Barbie. Whatever. I keep thinking Hasbro's involved in this somehow.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, before we cry, you go on. You continue.
So, while this whole campaign's going on, Cleopatra's like, look, you can't be seen with Dracula. She's gonna drag your cause down. She's a hole in the ship. We're sinking because of her. Just let her go be with the human witches. It's fine. And Claudine's like, no, I'm going to the real world. I'm going to bring her back. Also, my daddy's here now. He set the security system up, and he still has access to it.
Just to stand incorrect, Mattel does own Barbie, as of.
Okay. I don't think Hasbro ever had anything to do with it. It's just Hasbro's the other big toy company, so it's whatever. But yeah, so they sneak in. And they try to convince Dracula to come back with them, and Dracula.
Oh, did you say that the father?
Yeah, he put in the security system, so has access to it.
My bad. I apologize.
It's fine. It's fine.
Mattel does own Barbie.
We're gonna reiterate that. And
I'm gonna get in your head that Mattel owns Barbie. So next year when we do it, you'll go, I think Hasbro owns Barbie. And I'll look it up and be like, no, Mattel owns Barbie.
No, I'm gonna be thinking Parker Brothers
and Jay will lean over and go, I already said about the security guy.
No, I'm going to be thinking Parker Brothers next year.
Who's Parker Brothers?
I think they're like the guys who own Monopoly.
Oh, nice.
Maybe they're like the board game company. They've got a lot of board games.
Guys, we're over here. We're waiting. We're going to get back. We're going to take back our entertainment.
So this whole rigmarole goes down, and it amounts to nothing essentially, because like. Dracula's like, no, I'm not coming back with you. I'm going to make my legacy here, brokering peace between the vampires and the witches. So everybody just shuffles on out, like, yeah, okay, I guess we lost, whatever, time to go home. And then it turns out, oh no, the witches were evil the whole time, I can't believe it. What a plot twist, holy crap.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I was like, please don't be predictable like last time.
So they put Dracula in a birdcage, and they're like, haha, it's made of metal. You can't get out of that.
Now, you said something important.
We haven't gotten there.
No, we haven't gotten there? No. We haven't got there yet?
Yeah, so they put Dracula in the birdcage, and they're like, hey, you're going to cast the spell to kill all Draculas. And she's like, no, I'm not. And then she's like, mind control. By the way, Dracula's very easy to mind control. This happened in 2 different continuities.
It's like it doesn't matter if you're 100 years old. You're still just as dumb as everybody else. Oh, fuck!
So, this incantation takes like 7 minutes of just babbling. Because like they show up at like 11:53 with this whole heist plan, which is basically just use Heath, the fire guy, to throw fireballs at the witches. Also, Deuce is there. He doesn't really do anything.
Oh, before we passed it, Deuce becomes like almost a murderer. He gets like he
gets really into it.
There's like these humans, and it's like they're driving a car, and he's like, "Oh, look at my snakes," and he's just staying there like, "I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him." And they're like, "Deuce, you coming?" He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." He puts his hat back on. So then I thought Deuce was gonna kill the vampire people because
the witches.
The witches, yes,
not the vampires. Correct. Vampires are the good ones in this.
I say down with both.
I mean, they're probably both evil. Either way. So, through some crafty espionage, by literally, like, tapping the guy on the shoulder and being like, "Hi, follow me over here, and we're gonna sneak in behind you." they get in there with, like, 3 minutes to spare, and, like, the head witch comes back, and it's like, "Oh, no, you don't.
You just gotta touch her, but I'm not gonna let you touch her."
And then, not vampire witch boy shows up, and he's like, I'm using this spell to hold my mom in place. I can't hold her for very long. It's like 5 minutes. and Claudine just like rips open the magical bird cage.
We said that the bird cage is monster proof, right?
Yeah, it's got some sort of metal in it that's not good for monsters. And
so as she's pulling this cage open, she's like, "Oh my god, I'm dying."
Yeah, and there was like 1,000 different things she could have done that didn't involve like touching the cage directly.
She could throw a wrench at their fucking face.
There was a big old toolbox in the background. She like, could have gone over there, picked up a wrench, just poke Dracula.
Hey, I go.
Anyway, Dracula gets free, summons a horde of bats that do nothing.
And yeah, I honestly, so Claudine is she's dying. I use air quotes, dying.
Well, the Grim Reaper does show up.
No, well, right. But as she's dying, you just see Dracula, not Dracula, whatever her name is. Have you been calling her Dracula the whole time?
I've been calling her Dracula the whole time. Okay. I don't care. Dracula sounds better than Draculaura.
Yeah. She's like, got a smile on her face, like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill this bitch." And I was like, "Oh my god, are they actually gonna do violence in this movie?"
No, it was just, I'm going to annoy her with bats. And, yeah, so...
This movie was very, a little bit more, there was a lot more vor jokes in this. Like, the fucking, what's her name's like, "Oh, I was swimming with this, like, fish or something," and then she's like...
"I was swimming with your weird sea monster. I ate one."
And then when they're blocking the door, the girl's like, "Oh, if they come up, do you want me to eat them?"
"No, just shout and then eat them."
I was like, "Oh, this is a little bit more." So yeah,
they give Creature of the Black Lagoon a little bit more to do this time around, but it was mostly just attempted war. She didn't get to join the rescue party.
Yeah, wouldn't that be funny? They brought all the same people from the first one. Oh, by the way, if you're still curious, that one dude is still a stone. They gave him a little platform and everything outside. That's so cool.
Yeah, son of Hyde.
Yeah. Now you continue.
So yeah, I guess the bats just kind of tie up all the witches like off screen. Because we don't really see it because we're too busy watching Claudine talk to the Grim Reaper, who's like, "Hey, it's time to surrender and die." And she's like, "You say surrender, that means there's a choice. Fuck you, Grim Reaper."
Yeah. Have you ever wondered why your grandma's still 130 and you're like, why is she not dying?
She keeps tricking the Grim Reaper. She keeps telling him no.
She keeps saying, "I have a choice," and she walks away.
Grim Reaper can't get his foot in the door. Hear that? He gets his foot in the door and she closes it because it's made of bone and it just snaps off.
He's like, "I got more dumb people I can kill."
Anyway, so Grim Reaper's just like, "Yeah, well, I got told off, so I'm gonna exit stage left." And yeah, so all the witches are tied up. Dracula Senior shows up and he's like, "What did you do to my daughter?" And proceeds to just go stand it and talk at them in the background.
Now, you said something funny. I don't know. Did you maybe want to bring it up? Or?
I mean, It's probably not that. It probably wouldn't be too funny. It looks like he's taking a piss on him.
No. So we established with the two witches, a blonde witch and a brunette witch. The brunette witch being the head lady. It looks like Dracula's in the background saying, "Whoever touched my dick first gets to live." And then the way it's angled, it looks like the blonde lady like sucking his dick. And he's like, "Yeah, I got the blonde lady." So yeah, it's not as funny, but you know, maybe
I mean, it was funnier than what I said.
Maybe I'll go in here. Maybe I'll save the clip, and that will just be the repeat, and everybody will be like, "What the fuck? That's weird."
Anyway, with all the problems solved.
Oh, I'm stopping you again. Roadblock. James like, oh. I did call the famous quote line of the witches where they want peace, but they want to take peace if the other side's dead. So when she said it, I was like, "Oh my god!" And Jim's like, "Oh no, it's not so impressed." He's still pissed that I beat him in. I think I beat him in Discovering Shark Week. So he's like, "Oh,
I mean, we don't know.
You can count the numbers." He's like, "This is the kid show, Aaron." God, this is so predictable. I'm like, "Well, I didn't predict that. You predicted that the boy Dracula was going to be a bad guy," and I was like, "I hope not." So I didn't turn around and be like mean to him and like, "Oh, look at that, Jay. You predicted who the villain was, blah, blah, blah. Let me have my fucking moment. My God, I'm out of here."
Anyway,
I'm staying back down.
With all the plot lines resolved aside from the student council election, we go back to the student council election, and surprise, surprise, Claudine has gathered the most Tic Tacs in one. Now everybody's friends, and witchcraft is okay, I guess.
Yes. And then Deuce is like, "Hey, I'm deucing."
Yeah, I'm leaving, and then fucking Grim Reaper shows up at the end like, too many people have eluded me. Too many people know that death is a choice.
And now they look like they're setting up for the final movie to be, or not maybe the final, I don't know. But the next movie to be centered around Frankie.
Yeah, because I guess she's eluded death many times with all the different body parts.
Wouldn't it be funny if it's just like all her like she came back to life with all her previous body people? It's like a scheme. Like they all took the cult thing and they drank the blood and they're like, "Hey, we can live forever," and then but they don't really tell them how they're gonna do it. And then they're like, "Oh my god!" It's like have you seen Limbo? Where at the very end of Limbo, I think it is.
Is it the game Limbo or is it the movie Limbo?
The game Limbo.
I only played that for like 5 minutes.
But at the very end, the boy gets to the end, and he turns into a giant blob with a bunch of hands and arms and stuff, and then he has to run back and kill everybody.
I can't believe you're spoiling the hit game Limbo.
Oh, that was like fucking 20 years ago. But yeah, like that's how everybody's sitting at this cult, and they're like, "Oh."
I mean, technically you're alive forever, but it's like only your pinky finger.
I don't have anywhere else to say this. And I love derailing shit. It's my favorite thing because I hate when other people do it, and then when I do it, I'm just like, I accept it. But anyways, I want to derail this one more time. Probably lie.
To be fair, there wasn't much to this movie, honestly.
So, this one book I read that never finished, it was about Limbo.
The game?
Not the... You know, it's funny, because you said the game, I'm like, and that's what popped in my head. I'm like, no. So, there's a manga book, Though You May Burn to Ash. And it's about the Grim Reaper, which is a sexy angel lady, comes up and is like, "Hey, you need a lot of money to get your sister to survive. Well, will you do anything?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I'll do anything." And it's like, "Okay, well, read this card," and and then she disappears, and then he gets like ran over by a train or whatever, and he dies. So he comes to this world, and they're all girls, and they're all in limbo. Now, they all have to play this game against 20 other people, and since nobody knows who they are, but once you find out who you are, if you say your name, then you die. Like, you can't give away your secrets. But so that other characters can figure out who you are. Like, wait a minute, are you Elvis Presley? Oh, no! Ah, I'm turning back to my normal self, and it's like, oh, he died by a train. Then he's officially dead.
I played a game like this.
Yeah, you played all the Danganronpa.
No, there's a game that, like, specifically you need to find out every other player's name, how they died, and what their regret was.
It was probably Though You May Burn to Ash. I don't know if it was a game, because they got their creator of
No, it was definitely not that.
You talked about Limbo, and I was like, oh, that'd be an interesting plot. So, I don't know why, it's just...
Well, here we are.
Yeah, here we are. I hope you guys enjoyed another year This movie what? Oh, yeah. I was thinking of a question I wanted to ask you at the very end.
Okay.
So, this is the first time I think we've done. I mean, not that we've done, but 3 different genres of the same media art. So we did 2D cartoon, we did 3D, and then we did live action. Which of them did you like? I personally, I like the live action. I don't know. I like the music. It was a little bit better.
I mean, I kind of like the jankiness of the 3D. Like, I'm not gonna say it was the best one because man, it was hard to look at. But the jankiness was there, and the 3D ones just feel too polished for what we're watching. Like, I do think the live action ones are probably the best of the 3 mediums we've watched, but my favorite's probably the 3D. Just
because I forgot. I think I knew, but I didn't know. I've seen Monster High because I used to watch Nickelodeon back in the 2010s or late 2009s to early 2010s, like the first couple years, and I saw Monster High come on scene. So I think I remembered it being 3D. But watching that cartoon, I was like, oh, man. If these are all cartoons, I don't know if I'm going to watch these.
No, the cartoon was by and away the worst.
Yeah.
Because that had the awkwardness of the 3D, but not, like, the charm of it. Like,
yeah.
It looked like, yeah, we got to get something out there. We need it done next week. Just go.
The other thing I was going to bring up in the video was... we still haven't seen how the fuck that girl became the damn student council. I thought for sure that they're going to give it to her. Like, it was going to be some type of rigged thing. Like, the house is like, well, I mean, you would have won, but because of this outbreak, we're going to give it to her. But then
they're just like, nah, nope, she's...
And they're like, no, give it to her. So, because...
Maybe off screen, she's going to be like, no, being student council president's too much work. You do it. I doubt it, but, like... I don't think that was very well thought out. I don't think the people who made the game knew that
I don't think...
kind of like the villain.
I just find it fascinating. I mean, there's 17 movies, so obviously somewhere in that movie, maybe they explain it, but it's just like they're actually doing the student council. It's like, oh, is this not how she becomes? So I guess you want me to end it?
Go ahead.
Tune in tomorrow for the actual gameplay that you've been seeing at the very...
It's actually going to be next week.
Are we going to do next week?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Never mind.
It'll be next Tuesday.
Well,
next Tuesday is the spooky day, so that's when it's going to be.
Oh, is that Halloween?
Yeah.
Nice.
At least I'm pretty sure.
I hope you check, because you obviously don't know who the hell owns this. Wait, I'll stand corrected.
Okay, yeah, no. Next Tuesday is indeed spooky day.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, tune in Tuesday when you get to actually see us play, and we've only seen the first 2 movies compared to the third one, and we didn't know that there was actual live action. Well, I think we knew, but we didn't know.
Yeah.
So the last 2 movies came out of nowhere. Hey, you know what is funny? You said we were going to get 8 minutes, and we got almost to 30 minutes.
To be fair, we got sidetracked several times.
Well, if we take out my side tangents, which is probably about 5 minutes, and we take out your side tangents at the very beginning of the movie, the first 2 minutes, that's 7 minutes. We're still at 20 some minutes.
That's because we explained it very slowly. Slowly and in very not great detail.
Well, have fun trick-or-treating, stay safe, check your candy, whatever. Don't be scared too much.
Don't be scared a lot.
And if you see a monster, shake their hand, because they might cause a genesis to the human population.
Yeah, something like be yourself, be
unique, be a monster.
Yeah, be a monster.
Live by those quotes. Remember, when that radical left's tearing you down, you said, hey, your side said be a monster.
Just walk into your local Walmart and just start eating everything off the shelves.
But only do it with cookies. Because then you can be like, hey, I'm the cookie monster.
I was thinking like the baking powder.
That too, you could be a ghost. Like, oh! Alright.
Don't actually do that. And if you do that, we didn't tell you to.
Yeah, we didn't tell you. Don't do that. Yeah, no. Alright.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.